Well, hello all. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. How are you all doing? Another week gone. Been very busy this week. Really mega trying to get some jobs out. Got a few little projects I want to do at home. I'm thinking about getting some work done on my roof. Lots and lots of money to be spent. But anyway, less all those stresses. Let's start off with a drink. Now, some of you may remember I did a xbeeriment a few weeks ago. Because I had my new Challenger hops, I wanted to try to work out what the IBUs were. So what I decided to do is to make two brews, one with Pilgrim, and I bittered out to a specific level, which I know the IBUs of, and also I used this Challenger, and I also bittered this up based on 7.5 IBUs for Challenger, and so I just calculated up on Beersmith to that value. Did two brews. They didn't come out the same volume, so I had to water some of them down. But anyway, I tried to do it quite high IBU, and I think the specific gravities might be a little bit higher as well. But what I'm most interested in is obviously the bitterness. See if the bitterness is the same. If it's the same, these hops are. I mean, I must say this is obviously very experimental, but the hops are 7.5. If it's a bit lower, it's obviously maybe about 5. I'll obviously have to guesstimate that, but I know it's lower. If it's obviously this is much more bitter than this, and if it's higher, there's a higher IBU, which I doubt is very much the case. Now I did a little bit of tasting when I was bottling it. I think I did notice the Pilgrim a bit stronger. Oh, maybe, yeah. But got a couple of pints here. I'm like somebody who's double-fisted all the time. It sound a bit crude to me as well, though. But anyway, let's crack these open. This is the Challenger. Oh dear. Well, this is bottle conditioned. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem as if but I've only done a very low carbonation on this one. There's a little bit of carbonation there. Yeah, I think it's just been carbonated up really well. Obviously it's a smash beer, so there's hardly any any additives in there. There we are. Nice clean beer. Looks looking good, a little bit of fizz there. Okay, and let's just get the Pilgrim opener too. That's about the same really, very little carbonation. But yeah, I only put about a quarter of a teaspoon in these because don't want too fizzy. There we go. So that's the Pilgrim. Right, just go for a smell first. All right. I'm just getting a kind of sweet multi flavour on this. Obviously I'm not expecting to have any major hoppy aromas. I think I just bitted and I just put some aroma hops in at the end. I didn't do any dry hopping. I'm not getting quite as much of the aromas from this one. To make sure, remember, this is the Pilgrim, this is Challenger. Anyway, clarity wise, it looks as if the Challenger is slightly lighter than the Pilgrim. I'm assuming that the Pilgrim, but they're made from the same batches. I'm assuming that the Pilgrim hops have made it slightly darker. Anyway, let's go for a taste. Now this is getting a bit. I have to try to not be swayed by the bitterness that much. But here we are. Now the bitterness on this is quite low, but it's quite perceptible as well. Well, I think I used some of my Syntorsal yeast to this as well. But I'd say it's bitter, it's drinkable. The flavour's a little bit off though, I'm not so happy about that. Actually, it does taste a bit sweet. I wonder if the sugars haven't actually carved that much. I actually conditioned them for a week at about maybe 19 degrees for a week. I'm thinking that sugar hasn't actually fermented out. Yeah, that's quite sweet actually. Okay, let's go for the other one. Business wise, it's perceptible, but it's not, what's the word I'm say? It's not majorly bitter. Okay, let's go for the other one. Hopefully this one's not so sweet. Now that is a little bit more bitter. It's not far off really. Yeah, I'm getting more of a kind of after flavour on that one. I think they're both, yeah. So let's quickly sum up. I'm thinking this beer here is just slightly more bitter, obviously, than the Challenger. So I'm assuming that the Challenger is a little bit lower than it should be, but not majorly lower. It's not that much lower really. So it's quite a good thing. I think if I was to make either of these together, well, obviously remember I made a very small batch here as well. So yeah. So yeah, I'm not happy with the flavour though. Say clean. This is quite clear. They're both clean. This is obviously a bit sweeter. So what I'm thinking I will do is to get both of all these bottles out of my fridge and just ramp up the heat on my fermentation fridge so it clears all that extra sugar out, because it just doesn't seem to have gone. It's quite strange. I mean, I'd expect if you were to ferment a beer for a week, or if you was to do carbonation with sugar for a week on a beer, you expected to carb up a bit within a week. It's actually carbed up a little bit, obviously, but not as much as I liked it. Anyway, I think I'll drink this one. Any other news? I've got my little list here. I've got a cat. It's just in the way. What other things I've got going on? Hopefully I'm going to be making a brew this weekend. I mean, I'm debating whether to just make an ordinary bitter or oh god, I think it's Black Dog's Stout or something like that. I've never actually tasted it before, but it's one that's what's in the UK bitters book, or UK ales book, by some guy who I can't remember his name. But anyway, it was out a few years ago, and basically he's done lots and lots of recipes of all these basically lots of different clones of British beers, and it's quite a good book. I mean, it's how I started. I started brewing from that, and then I started adjusting my recipes a bit with Beersmith, and then I moved away from that. I've never really gone back to it, but there's still little interesting recipes there which I like. But yeah, hopefully going to do that this weekend. maybe on Saturday, but I'm actually going out Friday night, so I might be a bit hungover. But nah, I won't be drunk so much. I've got a bit of a boozy weekend coming up, I think. Maybe so. Anyway, sent some beer out to some people. You know who you are. I've sent my some of my IPA out, which might be not quite as fermented as I expected, and I sent some of the darker bitter I had in earlier in the year, which was made about July time. I know, May, June, July. Yeah, maybe at the end of July. That's a really nice beer, nice British beer I've been drinking quite a lot of, and I've really enjoyed it. So why not spread the love, as you say? What else? I actually pulled my I've been searching around for a flat bottom container, something about 3 litres, and eventually I found this one. This is 3 litres. It's a kind of a killer jar, but obviously it's a clone. I'm still a bit pissed off about the 3 litre one I broke, but I just couldn't actually bring myself to buy another conical jar for another £15. I mean, when I make starters, I can always do all the boiling up in a pan and then cool it down in the pan and then pour it into a container afterwards. I don't need to boil it up in the same thing. So I've got this. The bottom's slightly flatter, but it's not flatter enough. I've been experimenting with my beer, my yeast, my stir plate, and it's kind of been working, but it's not. I've actually had it, so the stir bar sits in the middle, and I found that certain size stir bars weren't doing it, but I managed to get a medium sized stir bar in there and working, but it's just a bit fickle. Just some days it works really well, some days I stick stuff in there it doesn't work. So I don't know. I mean, has anybody got any better designs of stir bars? I think maybe I just need to get a better jar which got a flatter bottom on it. That's nice. Anyway, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do again is use my technique with aerating with my airing rod. So I stick my wort, stick my yeast in there, get my airing rod, air it right up, seal it up, let the yeast do its thing, and just let a bit of air out and every now and again, and just aerate it again. And I think when you're making the starter, you just got to make sure it's got plenty of oxygen. But when it's got plenty of oxygen, it just makes lots of baby yeast. When it's got no oxygen, obviously, it obviously then starts making more CO2 and more alcohol, which we don't want to happen in the starter. So yes, so maybe in a day or two I'll be making a starter again. I'll be using this. This time round, I have actually got some wort in my boxes, but what I have got is some DM liquid malt extract, and what I'm thinking I'm going to do is to actually pour out enough liquid malt extract out into lots of different vacuum seal bags, seal them all up, and then when I want to make a starter, I just obviously get that much water out, pour it straight into into some warm water, mix it up, or boiled water, mix it up together, and then I've got my starter ready to go. So I've got a big can of it, so which is a national homebrew competition. So I may make a video of that, I may not. I will definitely be making a video of this brew day this weekend. And yeah, so hopefully I can do loads of propagating in this, and it will Pretty good. And you're more kit. I'm actually also contemplating. Well, I've actually asked a company up in North Wales called BGA Filters if they would make me a burn the bag big enough to fit inside my grandfather's malt basket, because I'm just getting fed up with all the grains and all that going straight through the bottom and get stuck in my beer when I'm making it. I don't know how much it's getting through. I've never really looked, but I just want to make tracks in respect of actually getting a much clearer beer. I saw a guy down in New Zealand. I might put his link up here somewhere, but he's just got a grandfather, and he did something to it with his chiller and all that, and he made a really crystal clear beer. And so I'm thinking two things. One, obviously, if I could just prevent any more of the too much of the grains going through the bottom. I've got a great big bag of Warminster Malting's grain which has been pre-ground, so I think they just grind it really, really fine for the local breweries and things, because they've got really good quality, obviously, beer making stuff. But yeah, my grandfather's false bottom is just too big for it and just lets hell a lot of stuff through. So plan is get a big mash bag, stick the grain inside the grandfather. It's going to have like a hole in the bottom so it fits over the rod. Make the beer in that. No grain gets into the bottom. Hopefully the water still flows through quite well, and then when I do my chilling at the end, I'll try to do a lot more recirculation until the actual bed is actually set properly on the filter, and no more sediment and grain is coming out of the pump. Well, being pumped out, and then obviously ferment with that. So that's my big idea. No news on the grandfather controller. I think that's due in November, which is only about 2 weeks away. So that'd be interesting to see. A bit exciting to have that. Anything techies, the type of thing I like. And I've got 2 more SJ Paul beer reviews to do. So I've done every single one of the beers, including mine as well. So, but I'm not telling you which one's mine, obviously. But that's it's been quite interesting. I think I've done a good job. I've been quite entertaining. People give me lots of feedback, got lots of thumbs up and stuff like that. So I've enjoyed in that respect. I think next year, well, I'm not expecting to go through to the second round. If I do, it's kind of like, can I make beer as bad as I made the first time round? I don't think I could have made my beer much worse. But I don't know, when I say much worse, I just obviously just threw it together. I had the concept, but yeah, let's see how next year pans out. But yeah, it's been good. Nice to see other people doing it. I haven't seen many other people in the UK doing SJ Paul reviews apart from the Welsh brewer and another guy. I can't remember his name. I apologise. And but yeah, been good. Okay, I'm going to wind up. It's been a quiet week, not much going on, just busy doing stuff. Hopefully most definitely a brew day over the weekend, and that's about it. Okay, well, cheers all, look after yourself.